Vishnu Padadanda Swami Srimad Bhagavat Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Niti Lila Vaishnava Bhakti Pragyan Kesar Maharaj ki jai. Jai Nand Koti Vaishnava Vrind ki jai. Samaveda Gaura Bhakta Vrind ki jai. Go Premanande. Nam Swastam Manamapi Sachiputram Matra Sarupam Rupam Tasajatam Urupurim Maturim Goshtavatim Radha Kundam Girivaramo Radhika Madhavasa Rapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Sri Gurutam Natosmi Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Sandauja Kamakoti Sakalajana Samaladini Chandrakoti Vatsalyamatra Tita Savitana Modoja Sari Gambiram Bodhakoti Madhuramani Sudaksi Amadvika Koti Goradev Sajiva Rasapade Dashitascha Jakoti Narayanam Namaskritam Naram Chevo Narotimam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama So first of all, I offer pranams millions of times at the lotus feet of our spiritual master, Om Vishnu Pad, to Dandi Swami, Srimad Bhagavat Goswami Maharaj. Then I offer pranams also thousands of times at the lotus feet of our Shiksha Gurus, Nityalila Parishya Gaur Govinda Maharaj, Nityalila Parishya Bhagavan Trikam Maharaj, Nityalila Parishya Bhagavan Bhanu Maharaj, Om Vishnu Pad Siva Madhusudam Bhagavan Madhusudam Maharaj. Begging their causeless mercy, also Vaishnavas, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. So, today marks the halfway point. We do are very happy it's almost over. So, we're getting an 8th count. So yesterday was the appearance of so many incarnations we were describing. So here is very interesting, the history of Gajendra, the elephant. Gajendra's prayer is very astonishing. He's not mentioning the name of the Supreme Person, he is only mentioning his qualities. So we'll discuss. Therefore, if we make Haristani Aparad, Tani Harinam, Tamastani Aparad, and Nahikoham. If we offend the Supreme Lord, we can easily be forgiven. If we chant His name, then He can forgive us very easily. But if we commit offense against saintly personalities, we shall not forgive so easily. That can cause an obstacle to devotion. So it's described. One time, one king named Indradumna, he had renounced the kingdom after his material responsibilities had been finished, and alone he was sitting performing meditation on the Supreme Lord. So every day he would chant some mantras, some verses, glorifying the Lord. Then one day the great soul, Augusta Rishi, entered his ashram, but the king did not see him. Therefore, Augusta Rishi felt neglected, therefore he became angry. Oh, you like to sit, therefore I curse you, become an elephant. Because the elephant also has a very big, large backside. Therefore sit, be happy with that, and he left. So this is also one blessing. Otherwise, how anyone can meet the Lord in only one life? So even though saintly persons, sadhus, sometimes become angry with us, that is always for our benefit, it's never for our, they never desire ill for us. So he became an elephant in the heavenly planets, not ordinary elephant. He was moving around with so many lady elephants, always intoxicated with his own strength and pride. He would move here and there. When he would roar, trumpet, all the other lesser animals like tigers, bears, rabbits, all would flee. So he went on the shore of the ocean of milk is one mountain called Trikut. So there he was taking bath with all his wives and children, and he was spraying water on them with his trunk. Even though it was a lot of effort for him, he did not feel any discomfort. And what happened as he was taking bath, one crocodile came in, caught him by the feet. That crocodile also had a history. In his previous life, he was a demigod called Hu. He was like a celestial joker, always making jokes and laughing, ha, hu. So his name was Hu. So one day he made a big mistake. There was one saintly person taking bath, and Hu swam under the water, grabbed his feet and pulled him under the water. And that saintly person said, "You were like a crocodile. The crocodile was coming up, grabbing him. I curse you to become a crocodile." So when the elephant took bath, then Hu, the crocodile, grabbed him by the feet and began to pull him into the water. So the elephant is also very strong. The crocodile is also strong. But in the water, the crocodile is more strong. So for 1,000 years of the demigods, they were fighting. Sometimes the elephant would pull him onto the land, sometimes the crocodile would pull him onto the land. That time the crocodile became stronger and stronger, the elephant became weaker and weaker. And he pulled him into the water. So just as Gajendra the elephant was about to finish his life, then he remembered the prayers that he'd offered as a human being in his last life. Therefore, he took one lotus flower and completely surrendered to Krishna with his body, mind, and words. And the prayers from his previous life came automatically. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmi Yadachi Yedeta Chidatmakam Purushadi Bijaya Perisya Abhidini. And meditate on that Supreme Person. Who is he? He is Bhagavan, the original person, the omnipresent person, the omnipotent person, that all-pervading personality. I surrender to him. But what's his name? He's not so. Who is he? Yata Ed Chidatmaka. His body is completely spiritual. Chidatmaka. Purusaya Bijaya. He is the original seed of creation. Parishya Avidimihi. He's even worshipful for great persons like Brahma and Shiva. To that Supreme Person, I offer my obeisances. I surrender. So as Gajendra was saying these prayers, all the demigods, you know demigods? What's your name, sir? No demigod? What demigod is? In the high planets, there's also inhabitants there. They're very powerful. They live for millions of years. And they're given different functions in the universe. For example, who's making the sun move? Where light comes from? Who's making the air blow? Even who's growing our hair? Who's digesting our food? What's causing the vegetation to come out? This is all controlled by the demigods. So as Gajendra was offering his prayers, they were all moving, thinking, when will he call me? When will he call me? But as these prayers were going on, then one by one they realized they don't have this quality. Therefore one by one they were leaving. Yasminidam yataschedam yanidam yaidam swayam yo asmat paramasmatcho parastam papade swayam bhuvam. That Supreme Lord, He is the platform for the entire creation. He's both the creator and the ingredient. He creates everything. He also becomes the creation in one sense, like a spider. There was originally only the spider creates the web by his own potency. But the spider is always separate from the web, even though the web comes from him. Understand? The spider moves on the web but never becomes captured by it. In the same way, the Supreme Lord, He is the foundation of the creation. And by His energy, this creation is manifested, but He's always different from the creation. People say God is everywhere. God is everything. Is this God? You cannot say that also. You cannot say this is God. But you cannot say it's separate from God. So Gajendra explained in that way. Even though he is the cause and the effect, he is still always separate from both. I surrender to him. This creation has its own potency. Sometimes it is visible, sometimes it's invisible, manifest and unmanifest. But in both cases, he is always the witness of everything, not directly becoming involved. He's simply watching. But in all circumstances, whether the creation is present or not present, he is always present. And he is always transcendental. May that Supreme Person give me protection. As an artist moves on stage with many different decorations, understand? But he cannot be recognized by the ordinary persons on the stage. Just like in high school we were in dramas, Shakespeare, this and that. You come on stage decorated, all the family cannot recognize. There he is. Actor can recognize himself, but others cannot recognize him. When Krishna comes in his many forms, his many incarnations, who can recognize him? Only he can recognize himself, and the ordinary souls cannot recognize him. That great actor, the Supreme Lord, he cannot even be recognized by the demigods or even by perfected sages. Then how will I recognize him? Therefore I simply surrender to him. Simple prayers with greater beauty. Renunciants, perfect celibates, sages who see all beings equally and are friendly to everyone, and who practice very strongly vows of devotion, always desire to see his lotus feet. To that Supreme Person I just surrender to him. Na vididhi asyat na janma karma va, na nam rupaku na doseva va, tatapi lokapyaya sambhavaniya, swamaya tani anukula amrityate. Tasmai namaha parashaya brahmane ananta shaktaya arupayura rupaya namad ascharya kamani. That Supreme Lord has no material form. He has no material birth, no material qualities are false. Understand? When some scriptures describe God as formless, it's simply referring he has no material form. He has a very attractive, transcendental body, transcendental form. If when the Supreme Lord comes to this world, most people think he is an ordinary human being. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samahita. I am not understood by everyone, I remain covered by my own potency, my deluded potency. Avijanandi ma mudhamanu sandema sutta param brahma janati sarvaloka maheswara. Krishna says, people, foolish souls think I am an ordinary human being. They cannot understand I am the absolute truth and the control of all the planets. And if Krishna walked in now, what would we think? What's that strange guy doing dressed like that? Would we really have the vision to understand he is the Supreme Lord? For that reason, said like an actor on the stage. Therefore, he appears in his original forms as Lord Ram or Lord Krishna. And why? How does he appear? By his own effort. His self-manifest. No one can cause his appearance. He has Ananta Shaktaya, unlimited potencies. He has unlimited forms. And all these forms are free from material contamination. I surrender to him. So as Gajendra was offering his prayers one by one, and all the demigods realized, this is not me. So they all packed their bags and went home. And finally only one was circling around. Who was that? It's the Supreme Lord Narayan, Krishna. So at that time, Gajendra was about to give up his life to completely surrender. So Krishna came in with his weapon. He took off the head of the crocodile and liberated him. So why Krishna liberated first the crocodile and not his devotee Gajendra? Because the crocodile was catching hold of the feet of He's devotee. Isn't that true? We're hearing again and again, Krishna only really accepts those persons who become the servant of the devotees. So first Krishna liberated the crocodile, then he liberated his devotee. So Krishna says to the Vasa Rishi, I am not independent. Even though he is the supreme independent Lord, he is always controlled by devotion. Bhaktir Bhakta Janapriya. That devotee is very dear, and the devotee of the devotee is also very, very dear to me. So for that reason, Krishna liberated him first. Then he liberated Gajendra. The crocodile got a form of Gugu, and again went to the heavenly planets. But Gajendra did not get the form of a demigod. Even the demigods are subject to repeated birth and death. So Gajendra got his original spiritual form and went back to the spiritual world. Gajendra Maharaj. So very shortly again, history of Gajendra. So there's a very nice history also. 8th canto describes so many, the appearance of so many incarnations. So in this 8th canto describes in one pastime, I think it's 4 incarnations. Okay, Dwayne, these might sound, history is little, in the beginning little different from what we're normally accustomed to. But by hearing we can understand things which we have not experienced. Have you ever been to Australia? How do you know Australia exists? You've not seen it with your own eyes. How do you know it exists? Those who've been there have told you about it. Therefore, even in this world, we can have faith and believe and desire to go somewhere which we have not seen with our own eyes. And why the kingdom of God will be different? By hearing, one can develop a very greed. Oh, I will also go there. Just like even in this world, we hear a very excellent thing. Or if we see an excellent thing, we develop a greed for it. Guru Maharaj always gives a story. There was one old man, very old, very poor. So he was on the side of the road, and the queen, the king, and his family was going past, and the princess was there. And the old man was looking, if I could marry her, very good. Is there anything wrong with such a desire? That's another point. But you cannot check greed. It's the nature, if we see or hear of anything excellent, one develops a greed for it. Therefore, spiritual life should be based on greed. Greed is a very bad thing generally. If you have greed for material things, that greed will take you into entanglement in material existence. But that same greed in spiritual life will be the cause of advancement. If one becomes greedy, oh, how I can hear more? How I can hear more about Krishna, that greed is a very good thing. We can't know why coming for class. Why? Some greed must be there, otherwise no one will come. If greed for material things is the cause of all suffering, but greed for spiritual life is the cause of all liberation. Especially Tat Bhavadi Manjura Sruta Nadira Pachate Na Shastram Cha Na Lutams Cha Lavu Pati Laksham. Especially after, these are the incarnations, but when you hear of the original form of the Lord, Krishna, such an unprecedented form, such beauty, such good qualities, and one develops a greed. Oh, I must attain him. I must serve him. So hearing of his sweetness, hearing of the sweetness of his service, even people in this world can develop a greed. Oh, I want to achieve him. That greed will not be based. That greed, when it becomes very strong, that means time you don't need any scripture. You don't need any intelligence. Now we're doing devotion by intelligence. Oh, I must serve Krishna, otherwise I'll be stuck in the endless cycle of birth and death. Now we are serving Krishna out of fear or some intelligence. We think this is good for me. That real greed has not arisen. So when that greed comes, that person is very fortunate. Especially to serve Krishna in the mood of Brajavasis. So Dwayne, even this world, we can hear about the Supreme Lord, his abode, which is beyond this material creation. His super excellent form, how the devotees serve him with complete absorption and attraction. In this world, someone can develop a greed. I will do like that. So, even though these things are beyond their experience, by hearing one can develop some greed, some understanding. So normally the demigods and the demons are always at odds, even though they come from the same father. Only mother is different. Aditi is the mother of the devas, the demigods, and Aditi is the mother of the demons. But sometimes even enemies can become friends to achieve some goal. Peter Buddhist described one time, there was one, it was a cat and mouse. Somehow they became entangled, they got caught in the same trap. Normally cat and mouse are dead enemies. Never they trust each other. But both are in the same entanglement, and the mouse said, listen buddy, I'll free you, I'll chew a hole and we can escape, but on one condition. Promise not to eat me. And cat agreed. The mouse was very clever. First he made a hole and he escaped. Then he made a hole for the cat. So sometimes to achieve a common goal, even enemies can become friends. Therefore, there's a salt ocean going. So why the ocean's made of salt? There are other oceans beyond our experience. This is weird. Anyway, be patient. You come in the middle of this thing, therefore, to explain from the beginning is a little different. Anyway, just here, what you like, you accept. So there are other oceans. If there's a salt ocean, and why there are not other oceans? There's oceans of sugarcane juice, 7 oceans. Ocean of sugarcane juice, ocean of milk, ocean of yogurt, ocean of ghee, ocean of fresh water. Ocean of oil. 7 oceans. So that ocean of milk, just like if you churn milk, you get butter. If you churn that milk, what will you get? Nectar. If you drink that nectar, you become free from material old age, disease and death. It's not eternal, but you can enjoy happiness for a long time. So how to churn that milk? You need 2 parties. You need a rope. You need a churning rod. So what are you going to do to churn the ocean of milk? That rope will not be ordinary, the parties will not be ordinary, the churning rod will also be extraordinary. So the demigods and demons made a plan. So who did they agree? The demons said, we will take one side, and the demigods said, we will pull from the other side. What is that rope? That is Vayasaki, one celestial serpent. And what was the churning rod? Meru. So that Mount Meru is very heavy. How to get in the middle of the ocean? Therefore the demigods and demons, they both lifted, and they were carrying, became so heavy it fell and crushed many of them. They were crying. That time Lord Narayan appeared, lifted the ocean, and lifted the mountain, and himself put in the ocean. So the demigods and demons were fighting. Which end will we pull? So the demons were saying, we'll take the head, you guys can take the tail. Some argument was there. The demigods said, we will take the tail. No. The demigods said, we will take the head and you will take the tail. And the demons, of course, they're always really proud. What the hell are you thinking? We will take the tail. No, we will take the head and you will take the tail. So of course, when they were churning, the snake got so much trouble being churned. He was vomiting poison. All the demigods died, all the demons died. So many troubles in achieving something, material things. So Lord Narayan said, when you churn the ocean, he told the demigods, don't be greedy for anything. Whatever the demons want, let them take. So as they were churning, both sides were pulling on Vyasaki, and Mount Meru was churning the ocean of milk. And what happened? Mount Meru began sinking in the ocean. So what to do? They needed a platform to hold Mount Meru. That time who appeared? Bhagavan Kurmadev Ki Jai. Total incarnation appeared. He kept Mount Meru at his back, and when the demons were churning, he felt a nice scratching sensation. So as he was being scratched, then the Lord was breathing in and out. That's why the tides go in and out, because of the breathing of Kurmadev. So as they were chanting, one very horrible poison. What is that? Kalkut Vish. It began killing everyone in all directions. They cried, "Save us, save us." So Lord Shiva came and drank that Kalkut Vish, that very strong poison. What happened? Because he always remembers Krishna within his heart, he did not swallow the poison, he kept it in his throat. From that time on, Lord Shiva got a new name, Neel. His throat became blue, but he appeared even more attractive. So Lord Shiva drank that poison, but there was no side effect. But the poison of Krishna's name is very strong. When Shiva drank the ocean of poison, nothing happened to him. He could tolerate that burning sensation. With the name of Krishna, if you drink something which is very, very sweet, it's like a burning taste. So Krishna's name is like that. So sweet, it's like poison. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not telling don't chant Hare Krishna. But high level devotee chants, how they can tolerate that sweetness, that is like heavy poison, like nectar and poison combined. It is like drinking boiling hot sugarcane juice. It's so sweet you cannot stop drinking, but it gives such a burning sensation. Because the devotee, when he chants the name, he remembers Krishna, becomes absorbed in feelings of separation from Krishna. Where is Krishna? How I can find him? Where I can find him? So such a happiness of chanting the holy name. At the same time, they feel such feelings of separation from Krishna. This is like poison. And so nectar and poison combine in two things. It causes so much suffering, but you cannot stop chanting because such a sweetness is inconceivable. When Gopakumar finally entered the spiritual world, one devotee. When he entered the spiritual world of Vrindavan, he became completely bewildered. He could not understand if the people living there were experiencing the topmost suffering or the topmost happiness. And he was bewildered. Because that separation of Krishna is like poison. Guru Maharaj said we take all, isn't it? Even materially, when someone dies, how people cry going, they do a funeral. How people cry. That's separation from a material person. And imagine separation from God, how much more suffering it would be? Unlimited. Guru Maharaj said, if you take all the suffering in this world and multiply it millions of times, that is not equal to one drop of pain the devotee feels in separation from Krishna. We are millions of lifetimes without Krishna, very happy. You can imagine our unfortunate position. At the same time, that poison gives a great happiness. Because in separation, the devotee is remembering Krishna, chanting his name, that is nectar. So in Gopakumar there, he couldn't understand. Are the people, the animals, the trees, the birds, everything in the spiritual world, are they suffering great misery? Or are they feeling great ecstasy? He couldn't understand. So we will understand. Even perfected souls cannot understand these things. So Shiva, when he drinks the ocean of milk, the poison he tolerates, but when he chants the name of Krishna, he cannot tolerate. His cloth falls off, he becomes mad, he roars, he dances, he sings. He rolls on the ground. That's the power of the name of Krishna. Therefore, before you hear too much, you better run away. You want to be happy in this world, Dwayne? You've come to the wrong place. Rupa Goswami said, Svenam Bandhatrai Paricharitam Sachivastin Adristum Nyasadaram Venukisilam Ujvala Chandrakena Govindakyam Haritanam Tita Pekshan. My dear friend, if you want to be happy in this world, never, 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 never look at the smiling face of Krishna. Because if you see him, you will forget everything. You will never be happy again in this world. So Guru Maharaj used to say, Prabhupada, he introduced all these teachings. He spent his whole life translating all these literatures from Sanskrit to English. Whole life. He would sleep 1 or 2 hours a day. All night he would translate for years and years. He used to say, chant and be happy. Guru Maharaj said, actually he was cheating everyone. Because someone who chants, how they can be happy? The gopis sometimes complain. We were very happy before we heard of the name of Krishna. We had our husbands, we had our children, we had our domestic affairs, we had our relatives. But the name of Krishna destroyed everything. Since then we can find no more happiness in our friendship, family, society. And the name of Krishna destroyed everything. So before it's too late, Dwayne, you got to run. Don't look there. Don't look there, Dwayne. Up there. Oh, Dwayne, don't look there. Because Krishna's smiling face is like that. You forget everything else. So, all this had a point, that's right. Shiva, when he drank that ocean of poison, he felt nothing. But when he chants the name of Krishna, how he burns. That burning is not like this world, there is one ecstasy. So, again they began chanting. And when they chanted, many things came out of the ocean. So first came the Apsaras, the celestial women. Who stole them? Where's Vijay? Who stole them? The demons stole. Then came one 4 tusked, then came one very fast horse. Who stole that? Who took that? That was Bali Maharaj. Then came one elephant with 4 tusks and white color. Who took that? Indra, the king of heaven. Many, many things were churned out of the ocean. And finally, as they churned the ocean, out came the nectar. It is called Amrit. That was carried by one incarnation, Dhanvantari Avatar Ki. Have you heard of Ayurvedic medicine? That's the Vedic science of medicine. He gave that at that time. Also, he had one pot. In that pot was that nectar. So the demons immediately snatched the pot of nectar and ran away. And the demigods were saying, come on, what about our share? The demons were not willing to give anything. They were thinking, we will drink it first. So the demons began fighting amongst one another. Aham purvam, I will drink first. No, I will drink first. And they began fighting. That time, Lord Krishna came in a very special incarnation. What was that incarnation called? Mohini Marti. Wonderful, wonderful incarnation. We always see the incarnations of God as male. Of course, he has his energies, like Radharani. As Krishna is unlimited, his energies are also unlimited. If Krishna desires, he may also take a female form. That female form is called Mohini Mata. So that when Krishna is a male, how much attractive. When he comes as a woman, you can imagine. All the demons became completely mad when they saw him. Completely raving mad, intoxicated, full of lust. And when any beauty we see in this world, imagine the beauty in the Supreme Lord. How attractive. If we call the absolute truth, like in Islam they call Allah, the greatest. Right? But we do not consider that God as being the greatest is his greatest attribute. Because someone may be great, but unless they're sweet, no one will be interested. Adolf Hitler was great, but was he sweet? So sweetness must be the greatest quality of the Lord. Therefore, the Vedas describe the absolute truth. His name is Krishna. Krishna means he is so attractive, he catches the mind of everyone. He attracts all souls towards him. And now, if you serve him, if you chant his name, if you surrender to him, you'll feel ecstasy. Anand for Krishna. So Krishna means unlimitedly beautiful. These are 6 qualities of God. Aiswarasya samagasya veryasya yasya sagriya siya jnanistityevatisya bhagavanama. That person who has 6 things unlimited, that is called Bhagavan. That's what we call God in Sanskrit. Bhagavan. He has 6 things unlimited. Unlimited beauty, unlimited strength, unlimited knowledge, unlimited fame, unlimited renunciation, and unlimited wealth. No one can own him. No one can have more wealth than him because he created everything. He owns everything. Therefore, no one can achieve the Lord by money. How you can capture God with money, because no one can have more than him in wealth. You cannot capture him by high birth. Why? Because no one is high birth, he's the first person. You cannot capture him by high birth, by austerities, by physical strength, by anything. You can only capture him by devotion. So Krishna is unlimitedly attractive, unlimitedly beautiful. If you see him, you'll forget everything in this world. That is the nature of beauty. Even in this world, if we see a nice lady, or a nice man, our mind is completely captured by that. We cannot think of anything. There was one, the great devotee named Ramanuj Acharya, very, very famous, great personality. He used to live in South India. That temple of his is called Srimad. So, our temple only has very small deities. The big temple has big deities. So every day they take the deities outside on an elephant, some procession. But you cannot take the big ones, you can take the little deities. Deities means the forms of the Lord. So thousands of devotees were chanting, Haribol, Haribol, intoxicated in the chanting of the holy name, dancing in ecstasy. Only one man was not dancing in ecstasy and not chanting the holy name. What was he doing? He was with one prostitute. And he was so much absorbed in the beauty of that prostitute, he was looking at her like a madman. Even he had an umbrella that the sun would not make her black. Like this. So, especially in India, they never show affection in public. It's considered very, very low class. So what to speak of inside a temple? What to speak of in a huge religious assembly? Everyone was laughing at this guy. He has no shame, no common sense, no sense control. But he didn't care for anything. He was just looking at the face of the lady with his umbrella. And Sri Ramanujacharya thought, look at this man. This man can perform devotion. He has a fixed motive. He has one point in this. He can do devotion. He has a chance. Even we are not like that. Like one lady, next day liking another one. Day after that, thinking of another one. Even we have no nishta in our maya. We are not one-pointed even in our illusion. Even in our illusion, we have many branches. And how we can do devotion? Understand? Devotion means one point. So Ramanuja saw, yes, he can do. He's completely absorbed in one thing. Only it needs transfer to the Supreme Lord. That's all it needs. The Buddhists try to stop attraction. This is madness. How you can stop attraction? Attraction is inherent within every soul. Actually, the soul is made of attraction. Therefore, we feel so much attraction to this world. That is our only mistake. Only that attraction has to be directed again to its original source, that is Krishna. Isti samskaraga paramaveshta. Complete absorption in the Supreme Lord is called devotion, or rag. So Ramanuja called that man. 3-4 times they shook him. Yes. Oh, Sri Ramanujacharya wants to talk with him. And the man was very, oh, such a great person wants to see him. He went and bowed. Yes. And Sri Ramanujacharya asked him, I'm very interested. What to see the face of that young woman? What is in her face that you have forgotten the whole world? You have forgotten shame, you have forgotten everything. He said, Maharaj, what can I tell you? You are celibate, sannyasi, what would you know? But her eyes are so beautiful. Therefore, I never look at anything else. And Sri Ramanujacharya said, if you come tonight, I will show you the eyes of someone who is even more attractive than her. And the man was agreeable. Yes, I will come tonight. So he went, and everyone was looking at the deity towards the Lord. Everyone was gazing at his beautiful face. But Danuda, his name, he was not looking at the deity. He was looking at the girl. So just like I'm the only guy facing that way, and everyone else is facing this way. So imagine the deities were behind me, and everyone's looking at the deities, only I'm looking at the girl. Then Ramanujacharya said, my dear friend, my dear brother, one time you turn around and look at the face of our lotus-eyed Sri Krishna, Rangana. And he looked, and like what we see, what do we see? Stone? Krishna. Then Ramanujacharya put his hand on his head. By the blessing of Ramanujacharya, he saw the Supreme Lord. We are looking, we are not qualified, we cannot see. Therefore he had the Supreme Lord appear before him by the grace of Ramanuja. Then that man was looking hour after hour after hour without even blinking. Even the doors closed, he was still thinking, completely absorbed. And Sri Ramanujacharya said, my dear friend, now it's very late, we go home. That man fell at the feet of Sri Ramanujacharya. Oh Gurudev, I was looking at the firefly. You know firefly? The little bug. I was looking at the firefly and you showed me the sun. So where is real beauty? Till we see that beauty of Sri Krishna, until we chant the nectar of his name, how you can give up this world? Krishna says, unless you experience a higher taste, you cannot give up the lower taste. That is our whole problem, Sita. We're not feeling the higher taste, and we're feeling the material taste. We're like stuck between both worlds. Like you put one foot on a boat and the other foot on the pier, what happens? Give the splits, you cannot go that way or this way. That's why so many people leave devotion. It was very hard thing. We try to experience something which is beyond the mind and senses. And all we know is what we experience by the mind and senses. So how we can give up this world which we experience and experience that world which is beyond our mind and senses. How can we do it? Radha Kriya. That is by faith. That is by faith. First comes hearing, when faith comes. Oh yes, yes. Then one practices what one hears, then one gets realization. So, point being, what was the point?
Faith.
Mohini Murti. The sweetness of Krishna when he comes as Mohini. Mohini means bewildering. So when he came, so much attractive. She was so much attractive. Is it a he or a she? Krishna is always a male, he's never a female. Anyone, he, she, whatever. When he appeared as she, as Mohini, the demigod, the demons became completely intoxicated with lust. All began straightening their cloth, getting it together. When Mohini walked, her waist was very thin. Her breasts were very large. Her hair was beautiful. In every way, she was completely perfectly formed. She came and she said, if you agree, I will distribute the nectar. Don't fight amongst yourselves. So all the demons were so much enchanted, they agreed, yes, yes. Whatever you do, we will promise, we will not interfere. Just be happy with us, just be happy with us. So all the demigods were morose because they had been cheated by the demons from the nectar. Therefore, Mohini took the nectar over to the demigods and she was giving it to them. From time to time, she'd go back to the boys and move her eyebrows. The demons could not understand they were being cheated by the Lord. Also, just like, like soup or something, the thin soup's on the top and the thick stuff's on the bottom. So Mohini could have said, don't worry, the thin nectar I'm giving to these demigods, but the juicy, fat nectar I'm going to give to you after. But did she give? She never gave. Everything she gave to the demigods. Sorry. Everything she gave to the demigods, then there was one demon. Two. One. There was one. He was cut in half. And he became two. It was for the story, Pankaj. There was one demon. He could realize what was going on. So by force, he jammed in between the demigods, between the sun and the moon. So as the nectar was given, then the demigod said, he is not a demigod, he is a demon. Then the Lord cut his head off with his chakra. But because he tasted the nectar, he did not die. Therefore he became two, Rahu and Ketu. If you know astrology, they're very prominent in Vedic astrology. Therefore he's always the enemy of the sun and the moon, because they're the ones adopting him, that ratted on him. Therefore he always attacks the sun and the moon. That time there's lunar eclipse and solar eclipse. So when Mohini Murti disappeared, that time the demigods And the demons had a huge war on the bank of the ocean of blue. And because the demigods had drank in the nectar, they were very powerful. They smashed all the demons who were killed, and most of them ran away. But they were revived again by their spiritual master Sukrachara by one mantra. So the main point of this is, have you heard of Lord Shiva, Dwayne? Okay, heard of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is a great devotee. He's always in meditation. Who is he thinking of? Always he is meditating. Therefore he cannot be God because God never meditates on himself. God never has to worship anyone. He's the supreme enjoyer. He enjoys the worship of everyone, but he never performs worship. Therefore Shiva is devotee, he's not God. He's devotee of God. And he's the best of the devotees. Vaishnavamita Shambhu. Like this, Bhagavat is the best of the Puranas. Like Janardana, Sri Krishna is the best of the devas. Like the Ganga is the best of the rivers, and the same way Lord Shiva is the best of all the devotees. Vaishnavamita Shambhu. In all the incarnations, he's always there somewhere. Who's Hanuman? Sita, you know? Who is he? Who is he? He's Shank, he's Lord Shiva also. Whenever God comes in an incarnation, Shiva's always there to do or see what's going on. Can I do some service to him? So Shiva had seen all the incarnations, but he never saw this incarnation. When he heard the Supreme Lord had appeared as a woman, he developed such a desire. I also want to see that form. And the Lord smiled and the voice came, "Oh Shiva, you can see my form, can you tolerate my form?" Seeing is one thing, but tolerating is another thing. Can you do? Shiva has so much pride. I am the greatest yogi. For millions of years he meditates on blocks of ice. Complete control of the mind and senses. So Shiva, yes, I can tolerate many things, but I cannot tolerate that. And Krishna smiled and disappeared. Then Shiva was looking, where did the Lord go? Then he saw, who did he see? Mohini Murti. In a little distance in the forest. So she was playing with one ball. So you can imagine the ball was the only thing that was bouncing. What to say, these things are there in Bible. So she was looking, her waist was very thin, and everything about her was very attractive. So she was smiling again and again and pushing the hair out of her eyes and looking at Shiva, and glancing at him. Shiva became full of lust. He could not check himself. Even though Parvati was right next to him, he did not pay her any attention. Again and again he was looking at Mohini Murti. Then one breeze came and took away Mohini's cloth. If Shankar was crazy before, imagine what happened to him then. He became so full of lust, he began chasing Mohini Murti. So Mohini Murti, where did she begin running? And Lord Shiva was chasing again and again to try and catch her. And where did Mohini Murti run? There were many, many devotees, sadhus, yogis performing austerities. She ran past their ashrams. So they were meditating, they heard the sound of her ankle bells, ching, ching, ching. Oh, is that the Supreme Lord and Mohini Murti? Then they saw Lord Shiva completely naked, running after her. They were like, holy cow. Wow. Mohini is teaching all the devotees to be very, very careful of lust. Even Lord Shiva is captured by it. And then Lord Shiva saw her after. When Lord Shiva, his lust was subsided, then he became very happy to be defeated by the Lord. This is not any material lust. This is one special pastime of Mohini Murti. Therefore, Mohini Murti ki jai. So this 8th canto is so many incarnations. And we're going very quickly because we want to get to the 10th canto. Yeah? The 10th canto is the main section of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So at least 2-3 days we want to spend on that. So, the demigods and the demons always have enmity. Therefore, both worship their spiritual masters. The spiritual master of the demigods, his name is Brihaspati. The spiritual master of the demons, his name is Sukra Acharya. Sukra actually means semen. Acharya means spiritual master. The demons, the demonic people think, the succession of bona fide guru is like one type of seminal succession. like in India. So, the professional gurus, they're called cool gurus. It's like a business. They give mantras, they perform ritualistic ceremonies like marriages, giving names to the children, shaving the heads of the small children. There's 10 samskars. It's those who make a living professionally by selling mantras and performing these ritualistic samskars. They're called kul gurus. It's passed on from father to son, father to son, father to son. We do not accept that as a real descent of spiritual truth. Only because, and even materially, if your father is a doctor, the son does not automatically become a doctor. They were simply being born is not qualification enough to become spiritual master. Therefore, we reject this line of spiritual masters. Kul gurus, professional gurus, mantra sellers, who make living by selling mantras. We reject them completely. Especially in Vrindavan, there are the Goswamis. The 6 Goswamis, the main followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, never married, never had children. But they installed deities and made disciples, and they put their disciples in charge of the temple. You do everything, I'm going and chanting Hare Krishna. There were those disciples, married, had children. Their children automatically became in charge of the temple. They married, they had children, their children, like this, Goswamis. We never accept them as bona fide devotees of the Lord. They may be devotees. They may become devotees if they get association by any high class of devotees, but it's not enough simply to be born in a devotee family. Therefore, these caste Goswamis we reject. We do not accept them. So those who believe in this seminal succession, they are also demons, followers of Sukracharya. So anyway, what it may be. So, we heard the other day, Indra became proud. Indra means the king of the demigods. He became proud. One time he was being worshipped by all the other lesser demigods, and his guru came in. Then Indra became very sad. Now my guru is here, therefore I will have to worship my guru in front of everyone. That means no one will worship me, no one will respect me. He became depressed, then he deliberately pretended as if he did not see his guru. Because he became, by false ego, he wanted to be worshipped. Because of that offense, then his guru neglected him and disappeared. Because they neglected their guru, the demigods became very weak. But the demons, on the other hand, worshipped their guru with too much faith. Therefore they became very powerful. And the king of the demons, his name was Bali Maharaj. So Bali is a devotee, but he's born in a demon family. Therefore, we never judge devotion by birth. We never judge anyone by their birth. We judge someone by their devotion. Therefore, birth in a high family is no guarantee of devotion. And birth in a low family is no obstacle to devotion. Isn't it? How do we judge whether someone is high or low? Not by their skin color, or by their birth, or by their knowledge or anything. How do we judge? By their devotion. So, Bali is born in a demon family, thank you, but, oh, that's the cookies, permission granted. Krishna's cookies, we don't want to burn them. What are you thinking? Sweetie, your mind is very good. So, even though he is born in a demon family, he is a great devotee because he is the great-grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. Last night we heard of Prahlad Maharaj's glories. So Bali became very powerful by worshipping his guru with great faith. As a result, he captured the entire universe, became king of the universe. So, 4 things are obstacles for devotion. What is it? Janma Aishwara Sudha Sudi Damani Pumanma. Too much wealth can be an obstacle. If one has too much wealth, one becomes proud and one neglects other people. Janma, high birth, aristocratic family, one becomes proud. And if one's proud, very hard to bow your head to anyone, even the Supreme Lord. One's material intelligence, material learning. I am PhD, I am this and that. And how you can surrender to anyone, become a servant, an obstacle. Janma Aishwarya, Shruti, and beauty. If someone is very, very beautiful, Very hard for them to develop a mood of service. So lucky most of us missed out on all of them. Myself especially, therefore, have chance for devotion. So these things are obstacles for devotion. Therefore, people in this world are very eager for those four things, but devotees never eager for them. Therefore, what's the definition of a great person who has these four things but is not proud? That is the definition of a truly great personality. Like we see our Guru Parampara, Guru Maharaj, Thakur Bhaktivinoda, Narottam Das Thakur, royal family, unlimited wealth, beauty, knowledge, always very, very humble, like a tree. A tree has many fruits. What does a tree do? Bends down. So one has a lot of knowledge. How you know they really have a lot of knowledge? Because they'll be too much humble. Bad English. They'll be very humble. Standing here so long, right? You become like me. Be careful. Pidgin English. When I first came back from India, I was speaking like this. So you're always speaking with other people who don't know English very well, and your English becomes like them. We were driving, my father, I can't take it anymore. He screamed on the handbrake. He goes, what's wrong with you? Speak English. Speak properly. Father, why are you being upset? One time Guru Maharaj asked, your English is good? I said, good, but it used to be good. Before I came here, it used to be very good. So, any fault, So, Bali had now captured the whole universe. Therefore, Krishna became very worried. Now Bali may forget me. Therefore, if Krishna gives mercy to anyone, what does he do, Dwayne? He takes away everything they have. Therefore, many people are afraid to worship Krishna for that reason. Just like an expert doctor, he'll treat the disease in a way the disease will never come back. Therefore, what is the disease? Material lust. Therefore, Krishna treats it in an expert manner. So what did Krishna do? Yadana anugrahaya sami. What is it? When Krishna gives mercy to someone, tadanam hari. When Krishna gives mercy to someone, he takes away all they have. So Bali was now king of the universe, but Bali was very truthful, and Bali Maharaj was very generous and very devoted to the Lord also. So what happened? He was performing a huge yajna, sacrifice, and he was giving charity. He was giving charity like the rain cloud gives rain. Therefore Krishna thought, I'm going to be merciful to Bali. Therefore Krishna came in a disguised form. Who is that? Bamandev ki jai. He came in a very attractive dwarf form. But not dwarf like you find on Lord of the Rings or something like that. No beard. Very, very beautiful, very attractive. He came, and all the demigods, when he appeared, all the demigods gave him some donation because he is coming in the form of a beggar. Beggar begs. Some gave him some, what you call loincloth, door copper. Some gave him a kamandalu, a begging bowl. Some gave him, one demigods gave Brahmin thread. Some gave umbrella. All gave little, one begging bag. All the demigods gave him some gift. Then the Lord went there to the sacrificial arena of Bali Maharaj. No one could understand this is the Supreme Lord come in the form of a beggar. Who would expect the Supreme Lord to come begging? We just heard the Supreme Lord has unlimited wealth. Someone with unlimited wealth will come begging. This is extraordinary. Therefore Bali never expected. Who would expect? Therefore Krishna's activities are always inconceivable. So he came there, very effulgent, very attractive. When Bali saw the Lord, he could not understand this was Krishna. With that attraction he felt, he stood up, very happy. Oh, welcome, Brahman. I think my sacrifice is successful because you have stepped here. What can I give you? How can I serve you? Please ask me for any donation, and I must give it. What would you like? And what did Bali Maharaj ask? What did Bamandev ask for? Give me 3 steps of land. Why? The king laughed. Because you are small, maybe your brain is small. Your intelligence is also small. You don't know who I am. I am Bali, king of the universe. One who comes to me should never have to ask from another person. What do you want? Do you want gold? I can give you gold. You want a wife? I can arrange that. You want villages, cities? You want my entire kingdom? What do you want? Whatever you want, you should ask me, but you are only asking for 3 steps of land. And Bhamandev gave very nice instruction. King, who is happy in this world? Only someone who is satisfied with what they have. One who is not one who is unsatisfied, even him he may achieve the whole world. He may have all the grains, all the women, all the livestock, all the wealth, but he'll still not be satisfied. Understand what? He can be happy, whatever he has, and if he's happy with that, that person can be peaceful. Adolf Hitler, was he happy? First he captured Poland, not enough. And I've got to capture Belgium, France, at least. He tried to capture so much in the end, he was finished. Napoleon, even a greedy man in this world. That who can be happy with one who is satisfied with what he has? As fire is not pacified by putting ghee or oil in it, in the same way lusty desires of a person are never satisfied by demanding more and more. Understand? So in the same way, king, I am a monk, I don't need anything. I need 3 steps of land. I will sit there and chant the holy name. So, Bali Maharaj said, you have, Bhamandev said, but you have to promise you will give me 3 steps of land. So in India, when you promise something, it's called a sankalpa. Sankalpa means you put water in your hand and you make a vow. I promise I will do this and that. Like in the beginning of our parikramas, the holy pilgrimages, what do we do in the first day? We go to the Yamuna, take water, or the Ganga, and we vow. This month I promise I will not criticize anyone. This month I will not eat this, that. This month I will go Mangalati every morning. This month. Many things we promise in the beginning of the month. The Guru Maharaj says for that whole month, Krishna walks behind you. If you keep your promise at the end of the month, you become perfect. If you have some other desire halfway through, Krishna runs. Sankalpa is very powerful. When you take initiation, you make also Sankalpa. When you take marriage, also Sankalpa. These are vows. Keep that vow as really strong. So, little Bhamandev said, but king, you have to promise by Sankalpa, you will give me 3 steps of land. So, this is very strange to me. To give 3 steps of land is not a difficult thing. But Bhaman said, you have to promise, give your word, that you will give me 3 steps of land. Then the king said, yes. But meanwhile, the guru of the king said, don't do it. You don't know who this is. This is not any beggar. This is the Supreme Lord come to cheat you of everything. So whatever you do, don't promise, don't give him anything. Make some excuse. You can say, now the sun has already set, I'm not giving any more charity today. Some excuse you can give. But don't promise to give him anything. Otherwise you will lose everything. So what was then Bali Maharaj was thinking? All the scriptures say, we heard yesterday, all the scriptures give the final conclusion, to surrender to Krishna is ultimate perfection. That whatever one has, one should use in the service of the Lord. Now my Guru is saying, don't surrender to Krishna. Now my Guru is bogus. Understand why? How long you follow someone? As long as they give good instructions, and proper instructions will follow. But as soon as that person gives improper instructions, what do you do, Makana? You have to break that relationship. Otherwise you'll be taken to a bad destination. All the scriptures are saying to surrender to the Lord is the perfection of life. And now my Guru is saying, don't surrender to the Lord. Don't serve him. Don't promise him anything. My Guru is now deviating. So all scriptures say you should never give up Guru. But Bhagavatam says, no. If Guru is against devotion, you should also give him up. Okay, ready, Bhagavatam? Even Guru does something which is against devotion, you give up. Or to speak of anyone else. All scriptures say that husband and wife should never separate. But if husband comes against devotion, like the gopis, they give up their husband. Older brothers should always be respected. But when Ravan went against the Lord, Vivasan gave him up. All scripture says mother should always be accepted. But mother goes against devotion, she can also be given up, like Bharat. So now Bali Maharaj told my Guru is speaking against the scriptures. He is against the service of the Lord. I will not follow his instructions anymore. Sukacharya became angry. I curse you will lose it. Whatever it may be. Why the Guru was afraid if the disciple gives everything to Krishna, what will be left for him? Some self-interest was there. So when he took the glass and went to pour water in his hand to make the promise, I will give you 3 steps of land, the water was not coming out the spout. You know why, Sita? Because Guru was inside there by his mystic powers blocking all the water. If we don't have water, we cannot make sun color. So Guru was in there doing his work. Actually, even though we say this about Sukacharya, this is not the fault of Sukacharya. Also, one point is there. Because Guru was also too much affectionate to his disciple. And Sukacharya did not want his disciple to be cheated. Therefore, Sukacharya doing this also not as completely bad thing. He has too much affection for the disciple. Therefore, sometimes even Guru can fight with Bhagavan for the disciple. That is also possible. Like Lord Shiva fought against Krishna for his disciple Bhanusura. So Sukacharya is not completely at fault in this regard. For his disciple, he is fighting with Bhagavan, that is not a fault. So many ways of looking at this. Not that we are criticizing Sukacharya, he is a great personality. You will hear afterwards what his prayers are. So water was not coming through the spout. Then the Lord said, I think there's some blockage there. And he gave him a sharp cane. If you clean it like that, then Bali took the sharp cane, he poked out Sukacharya's eye. Therefore blood came. Isn't it? Therefore you always see Sukacharya has a pirate patch over his eye. There's only one other animal that has a pirate patch on their eye, that has one eye. What's that? Crow. A crow has one eye. Did you notice? Crow never looks at your head on. If a crow wants to look at you, what does he do? His eye comes there. And he wants to look at you again, the eye comes. Why? What's the speciality of a crow? Crow only sees material things. Therefore, those persons who are like crows, they only see, they do not see the spiritual benefit of the disciple. They only see the material things they can get from it. So someone who has a bad eye, that means last life they caused some obstacle for the service of the Lord. You know anyone with only one eye? That means last life, some obstacle they did towards the service of the Lord. Therefore, this life they only have one eye. Or one good eye, one bad eye. So, when the water was given the hand, then Bali Maharaj, he promised, I hereby vow I will give you 3 steps of land. So then what did the Lord do? He became a huge form, enormous form. And with his first step, he took up to the planet of Lord Brahma with 1 step. With the second step, he took to the bottom of the universe, planet of Rasatha. That means with 2 steps, he took the whole universe. Then Brahmadev said, you cheated me. You broke your promise, you lied. You promised me 3 steps of land, but with 2 steps I've taken the whole universe. What do you give me now? You have broken your promise. Therefore, he bound Bali with a rope, pushed him on the ground like a dog. That time, Bali's daughter was watching. Her name was Ratnavati. So when the Lord came, very sweet, very charming, child form, she thought, I wish I had this boy as my son. I would feed him breast milk. But when she saw that beautiful little boy became a huge giant, Trivikram, and with 2 steps he stole the whole universe from my father, cheated my father, tied him up and pushed him on the ground like a dog, she became very angry. If you were my son, I'd poison you. And Krishna said, okay, both things I accept. I will become your son, and I will drink your breast milk, but you will try and poison me. Afterwards she became the witch, Putana, and Krishna delivered her. We'll hear on the 10th canto. It'll probably begin tomorrow. Tonight it will probably begin. So, Bali Maharaj had been so much disgraced. The soldiers, the friends of Bali Maharaj became furious. This Vishnu was a big cheater. They started fighting, the Lord was killing them, then Vishnu said, don't. Then Supacha, Bali Maharaj said, don't fight with him. We cannot defeat, no one can defeat the Supreme Lord. So then everyone, Bali had lost everything, but he had not lost his intelligence. He was thinking, I have given everything to the Supreme Lord, but he is not satisfied. Can you think why, Dwayne? Why God would not be happy with just material things? Why? Because everything he owns anyway. Just like if I stole your wallet and I gave it back to you, is that what type of donation is that? That's not a very good donation. In the same way, what material things you can offer the Supreme Lord? Because everything belongs to him also. Therefore, this is proof also to Guru. Guru is not satisfied really by material things. Money, food, cloth. These things have no interest for him. Therefore, the disciple may offer these things, but he's not attracted by that. Therefore, Bali was thinking, I've given the whole world to him. But he is not satisfied. Why, Pran? Can you think? $5 US? Bali was thinking, I gave everything to him, but I have not given myself to him. I have not surrendered to him myself. Therefore, Harinam Krishnanam Borose Madhu Jai Krishna Bhajan Se Kevala Chatur. One who chants the name of Krishna is very intelligent. And Krishna gives all the intelligence. So Bali thought, Yesham Satade Yuktanam Vachatam Pratipurvakam Tadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mama Priyantite. Mary, where were you last night? Don't tell. Don't break my heart. So, I've given everything. Not enough. I have to come and hear. So he thought, I've given everything, but I have not given myself. I have not surrendered myself to him, therefore he is not happy. Therefore sometimes people wonder how I can give everything to Guru, how I can give everything to Krishna. Doesn't mean you go and empty your bank account and give. That is not enough. What does it mean? Because there's one story Srila Gautam Maharaj told. There was two disciples who were living in the ashram of a spiritual master. The Guru said, I want the whole, everything here painted green. I want to see everything green. So foolish disciple, he got out his bucket of paint and began painting. All day he painted, only half he painted. How much can he do in one day? And the other disciple was just sitting there, not doing anything. Then Guru came in the evening, and the first disciple said, Gurudev, look how much I made green. And Gurudev asked the second disciple, how much you made green? And the disciple put on a pair of green sunglasses. Gurudev, everything is green. These are funny stories. The truth is very deep. How you can give everything to Krishna, how you can surrender everything to Guru. First you have to surrender yourself. If you surrender yourself completely, everything you have is automatically theirs also. This is one secret. Therefore, don't be like Bali Maharaj. Don't think I will give everything to Guru but not give yourself. I will give everything to Krishna but only giving material things, this and that. You may even end up sleeping in the bed. Venice Beach is a bum. Doesn't mean you have completely surrendered. Understand? The teaching is here in this Bhagavat. Even though he had taken the whole universe, the Lord was not happy. And he said, yes, he's not happy because I have not surrendered myself. Therefore he said, okay, Lord, your third step you keep on my head. Therefore, the Lord could put his lotus feet on the head of Bali, and Bali achieved perfection by that process of Atma Nivedana, completely surrendering himself to the feet of Krishna. Bali Maharaj ki jai. For that reason, devotees keep Sika. Why? That is the footprint of Bhagavan Bhagavat that represents those who agree to the principle of full surrender. And that's why ladies in the Vedic culture also keep long hair, same idea. This place is only reserved for the Supreme Lord. So, Lord Vishnu was very happy. And he said, actually his words are very difficult to understand. He said, still you made fault by breaking a promise. Therefore you have to go to the hellish planets for some time. Which hellish planets? Not like the other night. This is the subterranean heavenly planets. So much enjoyment is there. Therefore you go there and enjoy life. No? Then the Lord asked him to choose a benediction. And as the Lord cheated his devotee very sweetly, the devotee also cheats the Lord very sweetly. There was no self-interest in their cheating. Understand? The Lord cheated his devotee, but this cheating is very sweet. The devotee is very happy to be cheated by Krishna like that. Do you think Krishna's devotees are less than Krishna? They're also big cheaters. Therefore the devotee cheated Krishna, but very nicely. The Lord said, choose a benediction. Then Bali Maharaj said, you must come also with me and be my doorkeeper. How many doors in Bali Maharaj's palace? 64. Therefore the Lord kept himself in 64 forms. Therefore whatever door Bali Maharaj would look, he would see the Lord. Therefore Bhamadeva ended up becoming the doorkeeper of his devotees. So this is a very sweet exchange. So meanwhile, as this was going on, one thing I want to read to you. That time Lord Krishna spoke. By offering you water. No, one devotee is speaking, I think it's Lord Brahma. Bali Maharaj, Lord Brahma is speaking. By offering even water, grass, or flowers to you, those persons who have no duplicity can achieve the spiritual world. Thus Bali Maharaj has offered you the whole creation. How you can arrest him and push him to the ground? The Supreme Lord said, Brahmanyan anugnami tadviso vidanomi aham yanmada purusha staddo lokamam charamanyate. Because of material wealth, a foolish person becomes dull-witted and mad. He has no respect for anyone within the three worlds. He even defies my authority. To such a person I show special favor by taking away everything they have. While rotating in the cycle of birth and death, and moving through the different species of life according to the results of their fruitive activities, the dependent living entity may achieve the human form of life. The human birth is rarely achieved. If a human being is born in an aristocratic family or a high status of life, if he performs wonderful activities, if he is youthful, if he has beauty, good education and wealth, but he is still not proud of his opulence, it is to be understood that he has achieved the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Although aristocratic birth and such other opulences are impediments to advancement in devotional service, because they are the cause of false prestige and pride, these opulences never disturb a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, Bali Maharaj has become most famous amongst the demons as the greatest of devotees. Although bereft of his riches, although fallen from his position as king, although defeated and arrested by me, although rebuked and deserted by all his relatives, although suffering from pain by being bound and being cursed by his spiritual master, Bali Maharaj never left my devotion. He is always true to his word. Therefore, because of his great tolerance, I have given him a place which even the demigods cannot achieve. Therefore, he'll be king of the heavenly planets, and so many things. So then the Lord spoke to Sukacharya. And the Lord said it very nicely. Oh Bali, but there must be so many faults in the sacrifice of Bali because he could not give charity properly. Therefore, any fault he performed in this yagi you can rectify. Now Sukacharya, we so much criticize him, but listen to what he says. Kutastat karma visamyam yasyo karmisho bhavan yageso yagepurusha sarva bhava pujata. Sukacharya said, Lord, you are the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Therefore, you are called Yagya Purush, the enjoyer of all yagya. Therefore, in that yagya where you have personally appeared, can there be any fault in the performance of his yagya? Means Bali Maharaj, whatever he did, is perfect. Mantadas tatadas chidram deshakala vastutaha nischid sava karoti nischidram Anusankitana Tava. There may be faults in the mantra, fault in the procedure, fault in the ingredients, but everything becomes focused by the chanting of your holy name. Sri Bhavan Maharaj ki Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Vaishnav Thakur, you can remember Balaram, Vaishnav Thakur.
Ohe Vaishnava Thakur, Ohe Vaishnava Thakur, Daya Sagar, He Das Karuna Kori.
Ohe Vaishnava Thakur, Daya
Hare
is about to appear. Matsya Bhagavan ki fish incarnation. When people hear these things, they become what? Fish incarnation, boar incarnation, turtle incarnation. What's going on? Mohini Marti, woman incarnation. Half man, half lion, we heard last night. The Supreme Lord is unlimited, therefore he has unlimited pastimes, unlimited activities, unlimited desires, unlimited things to do. If he has unlimited forms. Those forms are not like this world, right? In this world all forms are temporary, full of ignorance, and full of suffering. What is this body? This body is a bag of stool and urine. It's the cause of all disease, all pain, all misery, all ignorance. That this body is made of, it's temporary, made of ignorance and suffering. But the body of the Supreme Lord is not like that. His body is completely opposite. His body is made of eternality, knowledge, and bliss. Therefore, all his forms are eternal. All his forms are completely transcendental. They are not material. We have no experience. When we hear God as a fish, what do we think of immediately? Like the fish down at the pier down there. We have no experience there. When we hear these things, immediately we think of our material experience. And so therefore we have to give up all that material experience and try to realize these things by process of hearing. Even devotees, we should think like that. Many years ago, Gurudev, the devotees took Gurudev whale watching in Hawaii. So one person was asked, would he go whale watching? What did he say? No, did Rupa Goswami go whale watching? Something. None of the previous spiritual masters ever went whale watching. We were like, why will I go whale watching? Then, when Gurudev heard that, then Gurudev went whale watching and he was like absorbed thinking. That night he gave a class, the beauty of Matsavata, the fishing class. So even pure devotee, what they're doing, what they're seeing, what they're experiencing, what we know. We only have our material experience. I'm seeing a whale, but what is he seeing a whale? What is he thinking? That's completely different thinking. Like we say, beautiful woman, what do we think? We think one thing, but a high-class person may think, oh, maybe that's a goal. Something like that, some transcendental thinking is always there in their mind. So very hard for us to understand their activities, their speech, what they do. Because we simply judge by our own material experience. So Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj told a very nice story, I like very much. There was a frog living in a well. So he was there whole life. Then one day one ocean frog came in the well of the village frog. The village frog was asking, where do you live? How big's your well? The ocean frog was, come on man. I live in the ocean, it's huge. The village frog was thinking, come on. How could anything be bigger than my well? I said, is it like twice as big as my well? Your ocean well? And the ocean frog was saying, come on man. The ocean, how you can measure the ocean according to this well? And the village frog was going, is it like 5 times bigger? And he was like, puffing himself up. Is it like this big? Is it this big? And the ocean frog was laughing, what can I tell you? Then finally the village frog was going, is it like 10 times bigger? Then he had a rupture and died. Means what we're like village frogs, what we understand of all these incarnations. We only measure it according to our material experience. And that material experience will not help us in this way. Saraswati Thakur would always tell the story. There was one guy who was born in a prison. Whole life he'd never seen the sun. And one day the jailer said, come on the roof, I'll show you the sun. So what happened? The prisoner began taking his torch. Because you can't see anything in the prison without a torch. And the jailer was saying, forget it man, you don't need a torch to see the sun. And the guy in the prison was saying, you're the one who's crazy, how you can see anything without a torch? That's his experience. And when the jailer took him on the roof, then he could understand, oh, that is the sun. Yes, sun does not need a torch. So all these things we hear, we try and measure it according to our material experience. But material experience has no entrance into these things. Tadakena Pravishtana. Material logic and argument cannot reach the feet of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, Gyani Prayasam Udapashchana Manteva Jivanti Satma Kadapam Baladiavatam Stani Stita Srutigatam Dhanavakmanobi Aji Prayaso Ajitatidostapistas. Therefore, Brahmaji said, just give up your material experience, your material understanding, and just hear. This hearing is very powerful. By hearing, you can realize these things. And you can capture the Supreme Lord, who otherwise can never be captured. The Supreme Lord cannot be understood also by don't think, Dwayne, oh, this is Sanskrit, some foreign language, I cannot understand, I cannot enter. Also, these things do not depend on language or knowledge. These things depend on devotion. Therefore, even great scholars, they cannot understand the Supreme Lord despite their scholarship. But the scriptures cannot also be understood by scholarship, they can be understood by devotion. Especially, therefore, we should hear from someone who has devotion, and everything becomes very easy for us. Like perfection, isn't it? They have windows for dummies, capitals for dummies. It's like self-realization for dummies. Just hear from someone who has self-realization, easy. And you get what they have, just like you. So the Supreme Lord cannot also be achieved by knowledge, by good looks, by anything. The Supreme Lord can only be achieved by devotion, and the devotion is also achieved by devotion. What gives devotion? What causes devotion? Devotion. Because devotion depended on anything else, devotion would not be independent. And as God is independent, His devotion will be independent. She can appear in the heart of even the most wretched, foolish, stupid, and ugly person. Why? She's independent. Anyone has devotion, devotion appears. Therefore, bhakti samjatiya bhakti. Bhakti comes by association with devotion. By association with devotees, we get bhakti. It cannot be understood by scholarship. Saraswati Thakur told. He used to tell many little stories. Upatek Javi. Little stories with very deep understanding. Because villages, common person, deep philosophy, they will not understand. But some simple story they catch very nicely. One time there was one devotee, he came from the village. And that village was one, like we said, family guru, cool guru, businessman. His name was Dada. He was very fat. Because always going house to house of disciples, eating, taking donations, moving on, eating, collecting donations. This is their life, very bad life. It's like prostitute. Going here, going here. So this guy was called Dada, fat guru. Whole village worshipped him, but actually had no knowledge of nothing. It was just a pretender. So this Vaishnav came to the village, he saw these people are being completely misled. So he challenged this Dada, the fat guru, to a debate. And the villagers said, Gurudev, how are you defeating? Don't worry, he said, that will be very easy. So all the villagers carried the big fat guru. They carried him to the village, and there was a big square, and they debated with him. Then Dada Guru said, because you are the guest, you should ask the first question. Then the Vaishnava asked a very simple question. Caste 1. Who are you? Caste. Then Dada, he began shouting at the top of his lungs, Ha! Klostrum, Bastrum, Mastrum, Hastrum, Crostrum, Trostrum, Scrostrum! Understand the way? No one understands because actually it sounds like Sanskrit but doesn't mean anything. It's just like rubbish. People repeat it. So as the big Dada Guru was shouting Flustrum, Mastrum, Hastrum, Crostrum, all the villagers, they also don't know anything. And then the Vaishnava, the devotee, will understand this man is a complete fool. He is shouting Flustrum, Mastrum, Flustrum, Hastrum, but this has no meaning whatsoever. Why I waste my time talking to such a fellow? So he turned around and left. And all the villagers were saying, Jai, Gurudev, just see. Such an answer he gave. And the guy couldn't answer, he just ran. All glories to Dada Guru, all glories to Dada Guru. Damodar Guru, all glories. What is the meaning? Saraswati Thakur. He said, when devotees, when we approach even learned scholars and we ask the very simple question, who are you? What do they start shouting? cluster of master and posture. They start shouting many, many verses which actually have no meaning because they cannot understand them. Who are you? Servant of the Supreme Lord. Who else am I? So, in this way, try and this woman incarnation, turtle incarnation, Dhanvantari incarnation, Mohini Morty, how we can understand, and slowly, slowly understanding the proper manner. So, this is the last of the, and also the incarnations have a gradation. All the incarnations are perfect. Om Puna Punamidam Puna Punasya Udachita. And no matter how many complete wholes emanate from the complete whole remains completely whole. Don't think that Krishna expands himself and he loses something. So all the incarnations of Krishna have the same potency as the original. No matter how many complete incarnations come from Krishna, Krishna remains completely whole. Understand? This is inconceivable. Guru Maharaj says, what's infinity minus infinity? Infinity. Therefore, unlimited, complete incarnations emanate from Krishna. Krishna does not become decreased. He doesn't become weak. So, these incarnations also have a gradation. We'll discuss that another time. So, this world is created for the souls to forget God. Krishna has created this world so we can forget Him. So instead of serving Him, we can serve ourselves. We can chase our own enjoyment instead of trying to give Him enjoyment. Understand why? Why the souls are here? Why God made this material world? Why I'm in a body of stool and urine? Why I'm not with Him? Can you think why? Soul has a choice. Will I give service to Krishna? Or will I seek my own enjoyment, my own pleasure? So when the soul has self-interest, selfish interest, and the soul comes to this world and forgets Krishna. Because if you remember Krishna, you have to serve Him. You will serve Him. Because His qualities will drag you to Him. So if you're being dragged by Krishna, how you can enjoy yourself? You can't. So enable to the souls to enjoy their independence, Krishna enables them to forget Him. That's why God made this world. So don't be surprised. How many people live in LA? How many? 10 million, 12 million. Dwayne, in a city of 12 million, and how many are here? And most of us come from outside. That is not extraordinary. Because this world is made for forgetting God. And someone will even come and hear something about Him. This isn't extraordinary. So because the souls have forgotten Him, but He has not forgotten us. In the beginning of creation, He speaks this knowledge. Veda. Have you heard of Veda? Do I know Veda? Veda means knowledge, actually. This knowledge of Himself as servant of Krishna. So in the beginning of every creation, the Lord speaks this knowledge. So, and Brahma, the first created person, he is the first recipient of the knowledge in this world. He spoke to this Veda to his disciple, to his disciple, to his disciple. So since the beginning of creation, this succession has been coming, this knowledge has been passed down. So one time, Lord Brahma, because he is the original guru of the Vedas, he was sleeping. And as he was sleeping, Hayagriva, what was the demon's name? Hayagriva came and stole the Vedas from Lord Brahma while he was sleeping. Huh? Must be. Rama Krishna Hayagriva. Has to be. Okay, listen to this. Yeah, and one is a demon. I agree with that. Understand thus, at the end of Brahma's day, when Brahma felt sleepy and desired to lie down, the Vedas were emanating from his mouth. The great demon Hayagriva stole the Vedic knowledge. So without the Vedic knowledge, how the souls in this world can get any auspiciousness? They cannot. Therefore, Hayagriva came and stole the Vedas, and the Lord appeared in the fish incarnation and killed him. So, therefore, Lord Matsya, the fish incarnation, as someone is drowning, this world is drowning in ignorance. And Matsya, for that reason, took the fish incarnation to save the Vedas. because even though the fish moves in the water, he's not part of the water. In the same way the Lord saved the Vedas. So, there was one king named Saptaha. He was very good and devoted. So Matsya, when the Lord was going to the water, to the river and taking some water to drink, tiny little fish appeared in his hand. Who was that? Matsya incarnation. And the fish spoke very sweetly to the king. The king was charmed. And the king was going to... One time I was swimming in the ocean, I caught a fish by my hand. That doesn't mean it was Matsya avatar. But sometimes fish come in the hand. So then, the king was going to put the fish back in the river. Then the fish spoke in a very sweet voice, "Oh king, don't put me back there. There's many big fish who will eat me. I have taken shelter of you. Please save me." The king was very happy. Put the fish in the bag, took him home and put him in like a bowl. In the morning when he woke up, the fish had grown and the bowl was too small. Then Matsya spoke. The king doesn't know this is the supreme Lord. Who would expect fish to God to become like that? And the fish said, "King, I'm having great difficulty. This bowl is very small. Please put me in a bigger bowl." So the king put him in the bathtub. The morning he woke up, became 6 foot long. Oh my God. He said, "What to do? Please put me in a bigger reservoir of water." He put him in a big pond. Next moment he saw the pond was too small. And the king was thinking, "What's going on here? This is not any ordinary fish. Please put me in the river, some bigger pond." The king threw him in a big lake. In 1 second he filled the lake. What to do? And the king put him in the ocean. 1 second he filled the ocean. Then Saptaha realized it's the Supreme Lord performing his pastime. So then the fish said, Matsya Avatar said to King Saptaha, "Soon is the dissolution of the world. Therefore make a big boat." All this story of Noah and the Ark and all where are these coming from? All these histories coming from the Vedas. Okay, Dwayne? Don't think we ripped this off the Bible because it was spoken 5,000 years ago. The Bible's only 2,000 years. Actually, this was spoken in Saptaha millions and millions of years ago. So, the Lord ordered him, "Make a big boat. You should stop." Let me find it so you know I'm not making it up. Exactly what he asked. Exactly, read carefully. So he prayed. He said, "O king, on the 7th day from today, the 3 worlds of Bhubhuva and Swargalok will all be drowned, inundated. In 1 day of Brahma, there's 14 Indras, 14 Manas. So every end of in 1 day of Brahma, 14 Indras come and go. So in 1 day of Brahma, the universe is dissolved up to the heavenly planets and it comes back again. 14 times in 1 day of Lord Brahma. So the king did not know that that dissolution was coming. Therefore the fish incarnation said, Matsya said, "O king, in 7 days from today, there will be a partial dissolution of the universe. When all the 3 worlds merge into water, a large boat will be sent by me. You should collect all types of herbs and seeds and load them on that great boat. And accompanied by the Sapta Rishis, the 7 Rishis, and surrounded by all types of living entities, all of you should get on that boat. And you will easily and happily travel on that ocean of dissolution. That boat is tossed by winds, therefore I will protect your boat, I will drag it." Therefore you should, again, the Vyasaki snake is someone that was used for chanting. Must be an important person. "You tie that rope to me and I will pull." Therefore the Lord rescued Saptaha Rishi. So Saptaha Rishi, after being told for a long time that he had full realization of the Lord's glories, and his prayers really nice. Here he prayed in hopes of becoming happy. "O Lord, you are the original Guru because you are the source of the Vedic knowledge, and you are the protector of the Vedic knowledge. Therefore, one name of Krishna is also Govinda, Gopal. And Krishna has many names. We start hearing about it, boy, we start crying. So many things to remember. Gopal means Go means Vedas. One who protects the Vedic scriptures and maintains the Vedic scriptures, his name is Gopal. Go also means senses. One who maintains and protects the senses of the devotee, his name is Gopal. And Go also means Gopi. One who always maintains the gopis in every way, and his name is also Gopal. Therefore, he prayed to Krishna, I accept you as the original spiritual master. Why? Because you are the original source and speaker and protector of this Vedic knowledge. In hopes of becoming happy, the foolish soul performs material activities in this world. But those activities result in suffering. Is that true, Joy? What do you think? All our activities, what are we trying to do? If we look at our lives, what are we doing? All our activities are trying to remove suffering and gain happiness. Why do we eat? To become free from the suffering of hunger. Why do we drink? Become free from the suffering of thirst. Why do we sleep? To become free from the suffering of exhaustion. Why someone has sex life? To become free from the suffering of sex desire. What else? Why we wear cloth? Why we do eat? Why we have a house? To become free from the sufferings of this world. Actually, all our endeavors are just to try to remove suffering. But are we successful? Are we successful? No matter more we perform our material activities, we become entangled in more and more suffering. This is the astonishing thing. Therefore, there's people this. Okay, 3 minutes to go. It's time to finish. Actually, I was finished a few days ago. When I start slurring my words and foaming, then you know I'm at the end of my tale. So, the soul comes to this world to try to be happy. He performs many activities, but he achieves the complete opposite result. Therefore, what is causing this? That is called the knot in the heart, read Granthi, by which the soul considers himself part of this material world. That is the knot which binds the soul to this world. This knot can only be cut by the sword of remembering you, the sword of remembrance. Just like, I'll finish here. It's done. Nice story. Have you heard of Alexander the Great? There was a prediction from the Delphi of Arius of Delphi. There was a huge knot called the Gordian knot. It was predicted by the Delphis of Arius, of the Delphis, Oracle of Delphis. The last thing I need is an English lesson until we do it. Whoever untangles this knot, that person will be king of the whole world. So Alexander came as a young boy. He saw the knot. He took out his sword and chopped it in half. Then some people were arguing. He has cheated. He did not untie the knot. He cut it. And some were saying, no, he fulfilled the prophecy. And they asked the Delphis, what do you think? She said, no, he has undone the knot. He will be king of the whole world. Therefore, how to undo the knot of this material entanglement? We were discussing the other day, some people think by performing good activities I'll become free from the reaction of performing bad activities. They will become entangled in performing more and more activities. Just like a silkworm. The silkworm makes a cocoon, and what happens? He ends up giving up his life inside the cocoon. We are like that. We're performing so many activities to try and be happy in this world. We're just making a thicker and thicker web of karma, of entanglement. Because every action has a reaction. This world is like a tar baby, like briar frogs. You touch it, you must become entangled. And we are completely in this world. How to become free from it? We have to remember Alexander the Great. One does not become free from material activities by performing material activities. One becomes free from material activities by the sword of Yad Anudyanasana Yukta Karma Grantana Banga. By constantly remembering Krishna. That is the only way to become free from material existence. Therefore, the king said, because you give this knowledge, therefore Krishna, fish avatar, you are the original spiritual master. So Matsya Bhagavan ki jai. Can't believe it, Giri. Just as we finished, you walk in. You are banned from breakfast. Matsya Avatar ki jai. Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Tonight is Ram Leela, very, very sweet.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. जय जय श्री राम। गुरु महाराज की जय, भगवत महापुराण की जय, श्री राधा गोविंद जी की जय, गो प्रेमानंदे।
भागवत सप्ताह की दामोदर महाराज की।
Hare